Hey guys, welcome to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from July 24th to the 30th, and I'm using the Sharks kit in honor of Shark Week, even though I didn't actually watch any of Shark Week. I really thought that this year was the year I was going to pick it up again. I used to be religious about it, but it just didn't happen. I think there was like one night I had time to watch something, and I decided to watch Criminal Minds. So I don't know. Someday, maybe next year is the year. But either way, I wanted to use this kit. I didn't want to save it for another year because this is just my ideal kit. And I think if it's still available in shop, I'm going to get another one because I love it. I love it so much. And as you can see, I decided to be crazy and get some foil specifically for this kit. I got it from Plannahannah, and I believe this was my first ever purchase from her. I got the Shark bundle in matte silver, and you'll also see that I got her paint spatter or splatter, I don't remember what she calls it, in red, her underlays. And the reason I did that is obviously to look like blood splatter. I got this idea from another planner. I did not come up with this on my own. I saw it on Instagram, and I want to say her name is Caroline, and her Instagram is Okie Girl Plans. I think that's right. Definitely took this idea from her. I saw her post it on her story, and I just thought it was stunning, so I had to do it too. I can't tell if she did like orange paint spatter or if it's red. I'm assuming it's red. Either way, I wanted to go with red. And I was so scared to do it because this kit is just so beautiful. I was worried that I was ruining it by adding the red. But looking back, I'm so glad I did. It looks really cool. And I was telling myself, if it looks bad, maybe it's still in shop and you can buy another one. I think I'm just going to buy another one anyway and hoard it. But yeah, one thing I will say about the foil, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe this is a universal thing. I'm just not used to buying foil, and I probably won't buy it again for a while because it is like a pricey addition to a spread. But all of the full boxes and underlays are too short for the full boxes, and it particularly bugs me with the underlays because I really want to see as much of the blood as possible. And so the fact that it doesn't reach all the way to the top and the bottom kind of sucks because now there's like some random white space, which I don't know. But I don't know, maybe it's just like impossible to make underlays that tall. Regardless, I'm really, really happy with how this came out. So that's just my one little complaint. I also, you'll see, decided not to put any glitter, foil overlays on my glitter headers. I went back and forth and just decided that it was a little too much for me. I think it's beautiful when other planners like completely foil out their spread, but I don't think I do it that well. So for me, I wanted the glitter headers to just remain as they are. So that's what I ended up doing. And the bonus is now I have a full set of underlays and foil glitter header overlays. So if I do decide to do this spread again or another shark spread again next year, I have foil for it already. So I could, have fun with that if I wanted to. I did end up using the scripts from the foil bundle, but totally forgot to do it on camera. So I do apologize. It was done off camera, but if you go to my Instagram, I will post pictures and you can see which ones I decided to use. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say about the kit. As far as my week went, a couple things did happen this week. Number one, I believe I hinted at it in my previous plan with me, or just flat out said it. I honestly can't remember at this point. But something that happened was I found out this week that we are in my company officially going to 3 days in office starting September 11th, I believe. And I'm really not happy about it, especially because my boss told me that we were only going to go in for 2 days a week. The story was that our parent company, the home office, they wanted us to go in for 3, and she what do you call it, negotiated to 2. And then even after she told me that, a week later, she told me, you know what, you were hired for 1 day a week. I'm going to talk to them and see if I can keep you at 1 day a week. So not only am I not being kept at 1 day a week, but I was under the impression that worst case scenario, it would be a 2-day week. And then I found out on Monday during a Teams meeting that our parent company refused to negotiate, and we all have to go in 3 days a week. And by all of us, I only mean myself and one other dude I work with. There's only 4 of us in the US office, and my boss lives on the other side of the country 6 months out of the year, so she gets to work remote for those 6 months completely. And another person I work with, her commute into the city would be 2 to 3 hours with traffic, so she just doesn't have to come in. So obviously that makes a lot of sense for her. I'm not like saying that's not fair and she should have to come in. I'm saying I shouldn't have to come in 3 days a week to sit alone in a room. I don't even work with the other guy who's going to be there. Like, we're on opposite sides of the office building. So it's like I'm just basically going in to be alone. So it's pretty upsetting, and my plan is to finish my resume this month, hopefully even this week, and start job hunting at the end of the month / early next month. But I am nervous because I know a lot, especially remote listings, are scams. And so you really have to like go through a company. So it's just going to be a lot of work, and I'm really stressed out. I'm going to try to make it at this job until the new year. Just because I would like a steady salaried job throughout the holidays so that I don't feel guilty for like buying people Christmas gifts and stuff. But I really don't know if I have it in me. I don't know. I know people go to the office every day, but I am not most people, and I can't handle it. So we'll see how this goes. Another little thing this week, I tried intermittent fasting. I had done it for a couple weeks starting this week, and I would just try not to eat before noon and not Monday through Friday, and then I would try not to eat after 8 Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday, but sometimes Fridays are hard. So as of right now, I'm not doing it. It's currently August 15th, and I've already given up. I don't think my body agreed with it, but please correct me down below if you've done this. Is there just like a time period where your body is adjusting to your new food schedule? Because I've been very bloated and TMI constipated ever since trying the intermittent fasting thing. So it wasn't really working for me. I don't know if I should give it another shot if I didn't give it a good enough chance and I quit too early, but I was just feeling very like hungry and angry and bloated. So I wasn't loving it. And another issue is I'm trying not to drink Red Bull on an empty stomach, and actually I've been successful for months because I heard that it raises your cortisol levels. And if I'm not eating till noon, then I'm also not getting my caffeine in till noon, and then like my mornings are horrible. So any advice or recommendations or thoughts are welcome. But yeah, so we're not doing that this week, and I just want to see if my body like chills out a little bit. So I don't know. Do you think I should try it for a longer period of time? Let me know. And then I think that's mainly it that was worth mentioning this week. I did see Barbie, and I really liked it, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love the ending. Not gonna say anything more. I did really like the movie, but I thought I was gonna like it more. Yeah. Might be a little controversial, but it was still great. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, those are my Barbie movie thoughts. The end. So I guess I'm just going to get started on the day by day. Monday is a doozy because I did lift everything up and put it all back down again because, I forgot how much I wanted to mark, and I still left a lot out this week just because I didn't have the space. So I really wanted to use all the full boxes. And I could have done more day extenders, but this spread was already taking me so long. So I just used one on Monday. But anyway, on to Monday. The first thing I marked was that I was up at 6:30 because this was my in-office day and I wanted to walk to work. And to mark walking to work, I used this tiny little Nike shoe from Piper Paper Company, I think, or Piper Paper Plans. I can't remember. Either way, they no longer are doing like physical stickers. I think they're only doing printables. So I really hope they have this teeny tiny shoe available in a cut file, because it's a lifesaver. It's just like the perfect size for my needs. And then I decided to watch planner videos on my walk to work. I had 40 minutes to kill. Walking from Joe's is 40 minutes. And if you're wondering how, I'm always staring at the ground anyway. I'm trying to make sure I don't step in feces. So might as well put my phone somewhere in that vicinity too. I usually listen to my audiobook, but I don't know. I was just like, I needed to be more awake and I needed some like visual stimulus. And don't worry, every time I got to a street, I paused the video and like looked up and looked both ways and crossed the street like a normal human, I swear. But yeah, it was actually surprisingly easy to watch YouTube on my walk. Then I marked that it was the Teams meeting from hell. Literally the entire purpose of all four of us getting on our first ever Teams meeting since I started working there, we've never had a video call before, was to announce the new 3-day in-office schedule bullshit or whatever. And yeah, my boss could clearly tell that I was upset because I didn't really speak during the Teams meeting, and afterwards she private messaged me saying like, oh, I understand this wasn't what you were expecting and you've done great work, like, you know, sort of like bullshit to try to make me feel better / make me feel guilty about possibly leaving. I don't think that's what she was trying to do. I actually really like my boss, but I just keep reminding myself I don't have any loyalty to her. She has a great job and a great life and doesn't have to come into the office every day or 3 days a week, because she has a second home in another part of the country that she goes to for 6 months out of the year, and she's like fully gone. And I don't know, I just have to remind myself of that because I need to leave. Anyway, so yeah, I marked that I had a little mini mental breakdown because it wasn't really mini, but I just had to sort of keep it inside because I do work in an office with glass walls, so everybody outside can see me if I start to cry. But yeah, I was not happy at all. And then after work, I sort of had to take the bus home. I didn't really have to, but my back has been really, really bothering me a lot, and my backpack is just way too heavy for me. Even Joe picked it up the other day, and he was like, Jesus, you're walking with this? It's just too heavy. And I also had to walk a lot this day, so it just didn't make time sense or like sense health-wise, I guess, to walk home. So I did take the bus, which I hate because with rush hour traffic, the bus basically takes as long as walking takes, and it costs me $2, which I know isn't a lot, but like, I don't know. But yeah, it was 90 degrees and I was in pain, so it just made sense this day. But yeah, hated it. Then after that, I just grabbed a package that I had to return, so I went to UPS to do that, and on the way, I called my grandmother just to check in on her and see how she was doing. And then because I had gotten such bad news at work and I had walked so much, I decided to treat myself to Chipotle. And this was the first time I had ordered in person in maybe years. Can't remember the last time I ordered in person, but the app has, like, every time I order online, they mess up. So I was like, no, I have to go in person. Well, they still messed up and I messed up. I was so nervous about ordering in person again that I forgot to order my tortilla and I wasn't able to make myself a burrito. And then also I got my sauce on the side and they didn't put it in the bag. So I walked all the way back to Joe's and just had a plain bowl of like rice and beans and sour cream and no sauce. So yeah, I was not happy, so I just marked that I was hangry because, yeah, all I wanted was a delicious burrito with tons of flavor, and I screwed up. So, yeah, that sucked. But one good thing that happened on Monday was I figured out the light for my mini chandelier that goes in my mini library. I figured it out all on my own. I was stuck on testing the first light bulb that I wired, and I wasn't getting it, like wasn't lighting up, and I was freaking out. I don't know what I was doing before. I think maybe I didn't strip enough of the wire. But ooh, excuse me, I burped. Sorry if you could hear that. I did just eat dinner. But eventually I figured it out, and I figured it out on my own. I was so happy. I brought it over to Joe's because I thought I was going to have him look at it, and I'm just so relieved I did the whole thing on my own because this might sound silly, but I've never felt more accomplished in my life making this dumb little miniature. It's just, I feel like I can rewire your entire house. I swear. I can definitely rewire a lamp. Like, I actually know how things work. Very proud of myself. But anyway, moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked was that I had a dermatology appointment first thing in the morning. So I went to that, and luckily it took absolutely no time at all. So I barely had to make up any time for work, which was nice. Like, I just showed up, they removed my stitch, and I went on my merry way. Yeah, so then I did put in a load of laundry and started work, and then this was me really feeling that 12 p.m. food time. I was very hungry and tired, so that sort of sucked, but I did keep it up all week. Then after work, Joe and I went to the mall to go see Barbie, but beforehand we had a couple returns. We made it right before the mall closed. I don't know about all of you, but I'm really hating this whole like malls closing at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. instead of staying open till 9 and 9:30 and 10. I hate it, but it is what it is. So we made it just in time to do the returns, and then we went to the AMC that's attached to the mall. And because we went to a shitty AMC, they still have the $5 movie tickets. The other AMCs have raised their prices to either $7.25 or $7.50. I can't remember, but it's no longer $5 movies. However, this movie theater is so disgusting and shitty, it's still $5. So that's nice. And it wasn't so bad. Honestly, it's really just the bathrooms. The bathrooms are the scariest things you'll ever see, but the movie theater itself is fine. And then there's also, luckily, a Walmart attached to this mall, and I needed some yogurt and cat litter. So we went there, and I got my groceries, and then I got a very frustrating message in Teams. Yes, I have Teams on my phone. I need it for, like, certain work tasks, and I never remember to like turn off notifications. So I got the Teams message at 10 p.m. while I'm at Walmart trying to live my best life, and it's my boss like telling me how our douchebag boss over in Europe needs us to like every night fill out this dumb homework. Basically, it's sort of like treating us as if we're 10 years old or even 7. It's that type of like dumb, pointless, time-wasting task. And it just like sort of sent me spiraling because I was like trying to enjoy my evening, and it just reminded me how much I hate my fucking job. So anyway, moving on to, sorry, I'm making so much noise today. Moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked was that I slept like shit. I don't really know why, I just did. And then I got up to work. On my break, I did do a workout. I did the Slim and 6 started up video just because that's like my go-to workout when I'm feeling too tired to work out. I have it memorized, so it requires no extra brain power. So I did that. And then I marked crater face because where they had to core out that weird pore that I had that was like black and weird, I don't know, it left like a little crater, and I'm really hoping that as time goes on it will like flatten out a little bit, and I think it is. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think it's flattening out just because it looks like I had some sort of giant sit there or something, like a crater from acne, like an acne scar. That's kind of what it looks like. So hoping it goes away completely because I did pay a pretty penny to have my face back to normal. If you don't know, I've had that weird growth since lockdown. So what, early 2020, March 2020, that's when I got it. I just want my freaking face back. So was sort of freaking out this day, but I'm calming down a little bit, and it definitely does look better than the weird bump I had on my face for a couple years there. I vacuumed, and then I decided to do my film my plan with me while watching Criminal Minds in the background. And then after that, I talked to one of my best friends on the phone. We were only going to talk for an hour, but he had so much juicy gossip that we ended up talking for like 3 hours. It got so late at one point that I brushed my teeth and like washed my face with him on the phone because he just had so much good stuff to tell me, and it was like midnight and I had wanted to go to bed at 11, so my mistake, but it was honestly so worth it. It was so worth it. It was like a very good mood lifter for me. And I also worked on a puzzle that I have not touched in months. I was working on the border this day. That's how, like, I have not touched this puzzle in months. So, trying to just have some good nights. Moving on to Thursday, I worked as per usual, and then I had a very random stomach ache. I'm not sure why. It didn't last very long, so that's good, but it's weird, more TMI, but like I have been so disgustingly gassy for like months at this point, like every single day, just like bloated and disgusting. And then it sort of stopped recently. I don't know if I'm just getting like used to my diet or something. I'm not sure, but this day I did have a stomach ache, so oh well. And then I did a workout this day. Couldn't tell you what kind because I just used a workout script from the foil bundle. And because I had so much fun working on my puzzle the night before, I decided to finish the border this day. I also decided to try to fix my cat litter box. Please let me know if you have any tips for this. But Janet, I suspect it's Janet, just from the way she faces when she's in the litter box, but she is a very high sprayer. Sorry, more TMI. And where she sprays is exactly where the bottom of the litter box meets the lid. And so she gets pee all in that crack that I have to clean every single day. And then sometimes if she aims just right, it goes through the crack and onto the floor, and then I have to clean the floor as well. So this day I decided to tape a little like barrier around the inside made out of like plastic. And it's been working, but it's falling off. So I don't know. If you have any like good litter box recommendations that don't cost $75, because for some reason now litter boxes are like $50 to $100. I don't get it. Let me know because my girl aims high. Then I put on Hellraiser 3 because I've decided I'm going to watch all of the movies in the Hellraiser series, and I think I'm still missing 2 or 3, but I'm fully comfortable saying that this is the worst one in the franchise. I don't need to see the rest. There is no way that they've made a worse movie than number 3. And while that was on in the background, I made the mini chandelier for my mini library, and I'm so proud of myself. I had to measure and cut metal and bend it and wire everything and hook wires to wires and strip wires and then recover wires and use a flame to shrink the rubber that goes around the wire. Like I did so much. And at one point, one of the wires snapped while I was connecting 2 of them, and it snapped so far down that I had to take apart the entire chandelier and start over on like one part of it. And that added an hour. I worked on this thing for like 3 hours, but I've never felt more accomplished in my life. So time well spent, in my opinion. Moving on to Friday, of course, first thing I marked was work. And I decided to run on my break this day, and I felt really good. I have no idea why. I don't know if because I was able to sleep in a little bit. I don't know if it's because I ate a banana and then ran an hour later. I don't know what it was, but I just felt so good. And I just actually today did the exact same run, and I couldn't even finish it because I'm so tired this week. So I don't know. I think it's like a health thing. But this day, I was feeling great. I could have kept going. Then after work, I went over to Joe's, and we got Pizza Hut for dinner. Definitely shouldn't be eating that, but no regrets. It was delicious, and he had free breadsticks for his birthday, so we got a pizza and breadsticks. Very fancy. And then after dinner, in order to help digest, we decided to walk to CVS because we both had like, I think $4 off or 40% off or something like that, and I needed leave-in conditioner, and they sold it at CVS, so it just made sense to get it 40% off. And then on our walk back, we did get caught in the rain. We brought umbrellas with us because you could just tell that it was going to storm, and it wasn't too bad except the rain like sloshing into our sneakers as we walked. That was kind of a little annoying feeling, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. It actually got so hot under the umbrellas because it was still really, really hot out, even with the rain, that towards the end of the walk, I just was like, I'd rather be wet than sweat under this umbrella. It's not like I have my hair done to protect or anything, so... and then the final thing on Friday was that we watched a bunch of Ted Lasso. We either watched 2 or 3 episodes, and they're like an hour long each, so that's what we did. Moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked was that I walked to CVS yet again. For one reason, I wanted to get a walk-in before it got too hot because it was going to be like in the 90s this day, as it is every day. And also, I needed to pick up my new birth control prescription. I decided to switch back to my old birth control, and it is helping with the constant bleeding. I haven't bled for the past 2 weeks, which is nice. Well, that's a lie. I got my period, so, you know, but you know what I mean. However, my skin is, I have been breaking out a little bit, so my hormones are just all over the place. I don't know what I want to do about that, but this is just, at least until September, this is what we're doing because I don't feel like going on a work trip and bleeding all over the place. Spoiler alert, I might not get my passport in time, and then I won't even have to go, so we'll see how that plays out. Then after that, I took a shower because even though I went earlier in the day, I still got all sweaty. And then I got ready. Joe and I were going to meet my roommate and her little sister who was visiting us this weekend at the mall because I wanted to do some shopping and I invited them along. I ended up finding nothing that I was looking for, but I did get some samples of some tinted moisturizer. That could also be the culprit of why I'm breaking out, but I'm not sure because I'm still only breaking out in like hormonal areas. So probably shouldn't be testing out tinted moisturizers and birth control at the same time, but do what you got to do. What next? We went to just the food court to get like Chinese, food court Chinese, and then we went to an escape room, and it was the best one I've ever done. It was so much fun. We did complete it. And I'm pissed because this location has 4 different rooms, and there's still one I haven't done, but Joe has done it. He did it during a bachelor party. They went there and did an escape room as part of the bachelor party. So I'm going to have to figure out who to do that one with without him because I still really want to do it. And then the final thing for Saturday was that we played Codenames until like 4 a.m. I did not get to sleep until 5 a.m. And that was only a problem because it was really fun, but that was only a problem because Joe and I had to get up by like 10:30 the next day to meet his parents for an early lunch. And the reason we had to do that was because his parents were just in town for one night sleeping at his place. So he slept at mine so that they could have his bed because they had just gotten back from Spain. They flew into New York. They drove from New York to Philly, crashed for the night, and then we're driving all the way down to West Virginia this day. And so they wanted to get like an earlier start. So anyway, he and I wake up at 10:30, and then we go to his place, rush, and then we sit around for hours. We don't even have lunch until 4 p.m. because we get there, his mom is napping on the couch because she's tired, of course. They just got back from Spain. His dad is still asleep. And I heard his dad on the phone the other day, can we have lunch at 11 a.m. so we can hit the road early? And then he's still asleep when we get there, and then we sit around and talk for hours. I'm not complaining because I like his parents and it was cool to see their photos. The reason I'm complaining is because I was going to stay at his place, and instead of gathering all my stuff at my place and bringing it with us, I was like, no, we have to go. We don't want to make your parents wait. I'll come back home to get my stuff. So I added a second trip for myself, and we just sat there for hours and hours doing nothing. So anyway, After that, we walked to lunch. My food was weird. It just didn't have any flavor, and some of the chicken, I got like a chicken panini, it had like gross bits, and I can't eat once I have like a weird texture. So yeah, we had lunch with them. It was more like dinner. Then I went back home to get all my stuff for work the next day and drove back to his place, and then he sort of plugged my tire. I definitely still need a new tire. Don't yell at me, but he plugged in enough to where the leak is so slow I haven't had to fill it since, and it's August 15th. I was filling it twice a week, so this is an improvement, and it's still leaking a little bit, but I didn't want him to risk putting in yet another plug and the hole just like getting too big to be plugged, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I do still need to get a tire. I'm just tired and a procrastinator and stressed, and I just don't want to deal with it. So that's that. And then the final thing that we did this week was watch Ted Lasso. So yeah, that's everything for this week. I hope you enjoyed, and please leave your high spraying cat litter box recommendations down below. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.